Hi, welcome back to Cat Things, and today we're going to get into nitty-gritty details of how much it costs to live in the Netherlands. Let's get started right away. The first thing that I want to mention is that we are a family of three, so bear in mind that all the costs that I'm going to be saying would be split by three people. The first thing that I want to start with is accommodation. So we rent a house that has two levels. It's not a full house, it's attached house. So we have neighbors on both sides, and our house has a main level with one living room and a kitchen, and upstairs we have our bathroom and three more rooms. We rent our house in the Randstad area, which is an area between Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and this is considered one of the more expensive areas in the Netherlands. Our house costs about €1,800 per month. This is on more expensive side in the Netherlands if you don't live in Amsterdam. But this is what we were able to get. When we moved to the Netherlands in the summer, we didn't really know anyone and we didn't have anybody helping us with the accommodation. So when my husband arrived to the Netherlands, he kind of just wrote to as many ads as possible and tried to get as many viewings as possible. He probably wrote to about 100 people and got like 5 visits. And this was the place that accepted us. It is not that easy in the Netherlands to be accepted in accommodation because you need to have a representation letter, you need to have like bank statements. So it was definitely a challenge to find a place to live. And at the moment we are happy where we are and we are happy to have a roof over our heads. But this is something that we probably will be reconsidering in the next few months. The thing that we were looking at when we first moved was the outdoor space for my daughter and my dog, and just a nice location because we knew that we are not going to have a car in the first few months that we are in the Netherlands. The next point that I want to mention is utilities. So that is a water bill and the electricity bill. So the water bill is about €150 a year, and I don't really have anything to compare with in terms of Canada because in Canada we didn't pay for tap water. It is free. So for the electricity bill, it's €452 a month, as our house is heated by gas, which is very expensive this year in Europe because of Russia launching war on Ukraine. Important disclaimer to say here is that this is literally the amount that doubled since last year. It was half the price, but another important thing to say is that we received like a notice from our energy company that the Dutch government will be subsidizing part of the costs for the electricity. So we are hoping to see this amount going down. If we were to compare this to Canada, in Canada our monthly bill was around €80 a month all year round, and that's pretty much it. So here it is very expensive compared to Canada. The next thing we're going to jump in is cell phone bills. I have about 13 gigabytes of data for €30 a month, including calls and messages. This is very cheap compared to what we have in Canada because in Canada a similar plan would cost much more. So for comparison, in Canada I had a plan with about 2 gigabytes a month with unlimited calls and messages, and that costed me $60. So that is much more expensive for less benefits. Our internet bill is about €30 a month, which is really not that expensive, and in Canada I believe it was around $60-70. So a little bit more expensive, but kind of comparable. Next up is childcare. We pay around €1,000 a month to have our child 4 days a week at a childminder. If you go to the daycare, and for example the daycare works from 8 in the morning to, let's say, 6 in the evening, and you would want your child to be there from 6 to 4 p.m., you would still have to pay for every hour that the daycare is open. So that would be around €1,700-1,800, but you do get part of this money refunded by the government. To compare, in Canada we had our daughter being taken care of by a nanny, and that cost us around $1,200 dollars a month, and we could also get part of this money refunded by the government. Important thing to mention is that there's a difference between how you pay in Canada and in the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands, you would pay for the daycare per hour, and in Canada, you pay for the daycare per day. And generally, I'm speaking about the province of Quebec, because in every different province in Canada, the pricing would be different. So in province of Quebec, general, in the Montreal area, it would be like $40-50 per day. So in my opinion, Canadian daycare is cheaper than the one in the Netherlands. I can't speak of quality yet. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about food. Food is really hard to calculate because there's different places where we buy groceries. So we would shop at the supermarkets, in the markets, in the local small stores, in the ethnic stores. So there's like a whole range of ways you can save money and make food not so expensive. So for example, we shop a lot in the local veggie and fruit market twice a week, which saves us tons of money. But on average, I think it comes up to about 300-400 euro a month for the family of 3. In Canada, again, it's really hard to calculate because we were growing food. We had some food given by the family, so there's a lot of things to take into consideration, but I think it would cost us around $500 a month for 3 people to eat, which is kind of comparable to the Netherlands. I have to say though, the quality of food and just the availability of it in the Netherlands is higher than in Canada, in my opinion. Okay, last but not least is entertainment. Again, this is really hard to evaluate because every family lives differently, and also we have some month where we rent the car and like go to Amsterdam for a weekend or visit friends and things like that, and some weekends where we just explore locally the park. So I'd say probably 200 euro a month for 3 people would be our entertainment bills. However, it varies from month to month. Some months it will be lower and some months it will be higher. Similar to Canada, there's a lot of different things you can do depending on your budget, so I'd say it's very comparable. So there you have it. This is what we spend a month for living in the Netherlands. I'll put here the final amount, and I went through the kind of monthly expenses, but I didn't put things like clothing there because these for me are just more like one-off purchases. So I hope this video is useful. I used to watch a lot of these before coming to the Netherlands, and I thought they were really helpful in kind of figuring out what things are gonna cost us. So thanks so much for tuning in and staying with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.